And then the ending. Like, are you kidding? What happens after this ending point? I need to know. Passing out. I love him. Hey, what's up? My name is Ange. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about all the books that I read in April and all the books that I hope to read in May. This is the stack that I read in April. We're going to start off by telling you about the books. I don't want to go too far into it because a lot of these books, in this one at least, right, are in my journey to find a 5-star read. We're just going to get into it. I'm going to tell you about them and I'm going to tell you what my rating was on them. We're going to start off with my Kindle, Mile High by Liz Tomford. This book is about, and I'll just read like the back. Xanders, Chicago hockey isn't complete without me, everyone's favorite player to hate. I know my role and I play it well. In fact, I thoroughly enjoy spending the majority of my game time in penalty box before leaving the arena with a new girl on my arm each night. What I don't like is the new flight attendant on our team's private plane. She works for me, not the other way around. But I'll be sure to remind her of that, and I can guarantee by the end of the season she'll be begging to quit her job. But every road trip blurs the lines, and I can't quite figure out if I keep pushing that flight attendant call button in order to push her buttons or if it's more than that. CV. I've been a flight attendant for years. I thought I'd seen it all, but when my new job lands me on board working for the most egotistical and self-righteous diva in the NHL, I start to second-guess everything, including the promise I made to myself of never hooking up with an athlete again, no matter how annoyingly tempting he may be. Evan Xanders is unfiltered, unapologetic, and too attractive for his own good. He loves his image, but I hate everything about it. Everything but him. My final rating on this was that it was 4 stars. It was very Wattpad-like, but I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I would definitely, I think, reread it. It made me so, like, giggly and happy. I don't want to get too far into these books, but I really did like this one. I thought it was very Wattpad-like, but it wasn't exactly a 5-star read for me, but I did enjoy it, and I would read it again, and I'm excited to read the second one in May. Another book that I read in April was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I absolutely loved this book. I ordered the hardcover because I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. This book is How Far Would You Go for Happily Ever After? Evangeline Fox has always believed in true love and happy endings until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Desperate to stop the wedding, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic, immortal Prince of Hearts. Oh, Jax, my heart, I love him. But she soon discovers that bargaining with the Prince of Hearts is a dangerous game. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will either end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. My final thoughts for this is that I rated it 4.5 stars. I really, really liked it. I loved Jax, and there were some things that I was like, it's not exactly a 5-star read for me, but I really did enjoy it. It kept me interested, it kept me reading. I'm so excited to read the second one this month, so this seems like it's gonna be a month of finishing series or things like that. So this one was awesome. I really loved it. Third book that I read this month, another book that I read this month was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Now, didn't love it. Not gonna lie to you, I definitely didn't like it. Exclusive wedding on a remote Irish island. The bride, the plus one, the best man, the wedding planner, the bridesmaid, all have a secret, all have a motive, but only one is a murderer. Don't want to get too far into it. Again, read it for yourself. Rated it 3 stars. I thought that this was very, very slow. I was not interested in any of the characters. I was over learning about them. I felt like I didn't like the switch between the wedding and the night before. I was very happy with who ended up being off, but it took so long to get there. Like, the person definitely deserved it. I don't understand why I'm surprised that everybody was connected in that way through that person, but it didn't. Same with the Paris Department. When I read it, I think in February, March, I'm not even sure, the beginning is so slow, and it's such a shame that I only like this much of the book at the end of it, because that's when it starts to pick up pace. Like, I wish the beginning wasn't this slow, otherwise I definitely would have rated it higher than 3 stars. Under the Lights by Abby Glines was the second in the Field Party series. This one is about Willa Ames, how she can't erase the bad decisions of her past that led her down the path that she's on now, but she can fight for forgiveness from her family, and she can protect herself by refusing to let anyone else get close to her. High school quarterback and town golden boy Brady Higgins used to be the best friends of Willa. She even had a crush on him when they were kids, but that's all changed now. Her life choices have made her a different person from the girl he used to know. Gunnar Lawton used to be friends with Willa and Brady. He, too, is larger-than-life and a high school football star, not to mention that his family basically owns the town of Lawton. He loves his life and doesn't care about anyone except for himself, but Willa is the exception, and he understands the girl she's become in a way that nobody else can. As secrets come to light and hearts are broken, these former childhood friends must face the truth about growing up and falling in love, even if it means losing one another forever. Rated this one 3 stars. Now, it's so different from the first one. The first one I absolutely loved, to the point where I got the rest of the series as a Christmas present. I thought it was a perfect little small town romance, football books, just very cute, very easy, light read. This one was just so out there from the first one. I did like it. Don't get me wrong, like, I didn't think it was bad, but this one just definitely wasn't something that I was all that happy with. I hope all the other ones are better. I didn't really love Willa, didn't really love Gunnar. I just was not really the biggest fan of this one, but I'm excited for the other ones. Like, since I have them, I'll definitely read them, and it's a shame because the first one was just so good to me. I ate it up, I loved it, so it was kind of a letdown for me, but I really did. I enjoyed it all around. The Other Woman by Sandy Jones threw me through an absolute loop this month. Now, this one I have had on my physical TBR for so long. I feel like I just have always talked about this book. I saw it on TikTok. I heard people talking about this book, and I was just so shocked by the ending. He loves you. Adam adores Emily. Emily thinks Adam's perfect, the man she thought she'd never meet, but she loves you not. Lurking in the shadows is a rival, a woman who shares a deep bond with the man she loves, and she'll stop at nothing. Emily chose Adam, but she didn't choose his mother, Pammy. There's nothing a mother wouldn't do for her son, and now Emily is about to find out just how far Pammy will go to get what she wants. Emily gone forever. The Other Woman will have you questioning her on every page in this fiendishly twisty psychological thriller about a man, his new girlfriend, and the mother who will never let him go. Psychological thrillers are my favorite types of scary books. I think it just screws with your head, and it's so much better than, like, the other types of thrillers. Like, it's so good, the psychological thrillers where you're questioning it and you're like, oh my god, what's happening? Now, I didn't really read the physical copy of this. I read it on my Kindle. I read a little bit of the physical copy, but this one I did rate 4 stars. And in my notes over here on Notion, because that's where I do everything, I put, this one freaked me out with like a billion exclamation points. The entire time I thought one thing of Pammy, and then all of a sudden I was so shocked at the ending. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I need more. Like, what happens after this ending point? I need to know, because that was insane. Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I am continuing on with the Addicted Calloway Sister series between April and now in the month of May in my TBR. Kiss the Sky is about Rose and Connor. I'll read the back. It's a little bit long, but I'll read the back. I can't read a lot of these because I'm afraid of what's gonna happen to my YouTube channel, so we're gonna skip the top part. But Rose Calloway thought she had everything under control. At 23, she's a Princeton graduate, an academic bowl champion, a fashion designer, and the daughter of a Fortune 500 mogul. But as a sister, Lily, and roommate, nothing comes easily. After accepting help from a producer, Rose agrees to have her life filmed for a reality television show. The Hollywood exec is her last chance to revive her struggling fashion line, and boundaries begin to blur. She's forced to make nice with a man who always has his way. 24-year-old Connor Cobalt is a guy who bulldozes weak men. Passing out, I love him. He's confident, smart as hell, and lives with his equally ambitious girlfriend, Rose Calloway. Connor has to find a way to protect Rose without ruining the show, or else the producer, who's never been denied a thing, will get what Connor has always wanted, Rose's card, if you know what I'm talking about. This book, 5 stars. All around the world. I love Rose and Connor. I was so happy to see them in all the other books, but to actually have a book about them, and then the ending, like, are you kidding? If you know, you know, but like, the ending, I was so happy. I love them. I think that Rose and Connor are my favorite couple in the entire series. They're just like, Rose reminds me so much of myself, and I just feel like I love reading about her. And like, to me, Poppy, like, doesn't exist. Like, the oldest sister, like, it's Rose, Lily, and Daisy. Like, that's it. Poppy she is the older sister, without a doubt. That's how she acts. She's incredible. I love her. Live long, live, laugh, love, Rose. And Connor. And Connor. Don't forget Connor. Addicted for Now by Krista and Becca Ritchie was the last... No, it wasn't. The Other Woman was the last book. I did it all out of order. It was one of the last books that I read this month. This book is He's Addicted to Booze, She's Addicted to... Staying sober is only half the battle. No more These are 3 words Lily Calloway fears the most, but Lauren Hale is determined to be with Lily without enabling her dangerous compulsions. With their new living situation, sleeping in the same bed for real, together, Lily has new battles, like not jumping Lo's bones every night, not being consumed by and his body. Lauren plans to stay sober, to right all of his wrongs. So when someone threatens to expose Lily's secret to her family and the public, he promises that he'll do anything to protect her. But with old enemies surfacing, Lo has more at stake than his sobriety. They will torment Lily until Lo breaks, and his worst fear isn't relapsing. He hears the end, he sees it. The one thing that could change everything, just 3 words, no more us. This book was 5 stars. If you did watch my journey to find a 5-star read, this book ended that for me. It was so incredible. I ate this one up. Again, those are my favorite words to say. This one up. I love all the characters. I love the banter going on between them. They feel like real people to me. Rose and Connor are my favorite characters like ever, and it kept me intrigued the whole time. All I wanted to do was sit around and read this book. Like, it hurt me to put it down. I'm having to stop reading because it was just so incredible. I loved every single second about it. I was so excited to keep reading. I loved it, and this series has me captured. I love it so much. Now, if we're moving on to all the books that I plan to read in May, I have a stack, but I will show you first. I plan to read The Right Move by Liz Tomford. Now, The Right Move by Liz Tomford is the 2nd book in the Mile High series. She's a distraction, that's what she is. I'm the newest captain of the Devils, Chicago's NBA team, and the last thing I needed this year was for Indy Ivers, my sister's best friend, to move into my apartment. She's messy, emotional, and way too tempting, but when the team's general manager vocalizes his blatant disapproval of my promotion to captain, referring to me as an unapproachable lone wolf with no work-life balance, I can't think of a better way to convince him, otherwise than pretending to date my outgoing roommate. The only problem, faking it feels far too natural. Having a fake girlfriend wasn't supposed to be messy, but having Indy under my roof and in my bed is complicated, especially when she wants all the romantic parts of life that I can never give her. Indy. I never imagined I'd be living with my best friend's brother, NBA superstar Ryan Shea. Even more unbelievable, he needs me to act as his loving girlfriend who suddenly changed him into a friendly and approachable guy. Because, well, he's not. He's controlling of his space and untrusting of others. Our arrangement isn't one-sided, though. I'm in a wedding coming up, one where every one of my childhood friends, including my ex-boyfriend, will be in attendance, and there's no better date than my ex's celebrity hero. Girl, you go. I love that already. Blurred lines make it almost impossible to separate real from fake. Falling for my roommate was never part of the deal, especially when Ryan is quick to remind me that he doesn't believe in love. I'm a romantic and can't help fantasizing that he'll change, but soon enough, I find myself questioning if sharing a roof with my best friend's brother was the right move after all. I love that for her. Go after his celebrity crush, girl. You win. Now on to the physical books that I have. I'm bringing a charger with me. These are all the physical books that I plan on reading this month. Starting off with Hot House Flower by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is Stacey and Meg's book, and I'm so excited. I am on page 403. It is May 2nd when I'm filming this, so wow, I'm almost done, but I'm also reading this in my swapping my screen time for reading video, but I'll read the back to you. Reich Meadows meet Daisy Calloway. She's all grown up. 25-year-old Reich Meadows knows he's hard to love. With a $1 billion inheritance, a track star resume, and an alpha male personality. Passing out, love him. He redefines the term likable asshole, but he's not living to make friends or enemies. He just wants to free climb 3 of the toughest mountains without drama or interruption, and then he receives a distress call from a girl in Paris, a girl that he's never been allowed to have. Daisy Calloway is 18, finally. With her newfound independence, she can say goodbye to her overbearing mother and continue her modeling career. Next stop, Paris. Fashion Week begins with a bang, and Daisy uncovers the ugly reality of the industry. She wants to prove to her family that she can live on her own, but when something spirals out of control, she turns to Reich to keep her secrets. As Daisy struggles to make sense of the new world and her freedom, she pushes to limits and fearlessly rides the edge. Reich knows there's deep hurt beneath every impulsive action. He must keep up with Daisy, and if he lets her go, her favorite motto, live as if you'll die today, may just come true. I'm super excited for this one. So far, I'm absolutely loving it. I've again been doing the swapping my screen time for reading, so I have been forcing myself to sit down and really read it. I'm almost done. I think there's only 468 pages, so I only have like about 60 pages left of this book. I also want to read Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This book says 2 years will change them forever. When rumors spread like wildfire, like having with her boyfriend's rock climbing brother, Lily Calloway spirals into a dark place, her bedroom. Lauren Hale is more confident and determined to keep their private, even from their friends, and he helps Lily in the only way he knows how. But how much love is too much? Their lives are filmed, watched, and criticized, and through it all, Lily and Lauren have to face enemies they never thought that they'd see, demons they don't know if they should bury, and setbacks they didn't think they'd meet, not this soon. And one rumor could be too much for them to handle. It will test their greatest limitations, and if they don't hold on to each other, someone is going to drown. And I knew that they were going to both get back into, like, what they've been trying to get over. And again, I don't want to ruin anything, but I want the best for them, and I'm so nervous. Like, their books always make me the most nervous. Hot House Flowers is the only one that I've read with Daisy and Reich actually being in it, like their book. But I've seen them and Rose and Connor, but their topics are just so much heavier, so much harder. I also want to read Addicted After All by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Again, this is a continuation of Lillian Lowe after Thrive. Now, I'm reading it in the order that is printed, with Addicted and Calloway Sister series intertwined. Hot House Flower, Thrive, Addicted After All, and then I only have Fuel the Fire, Long Way Down, and Some Kind of Perfect. And then I have the Bad Reputation duet. But this book, two addicts, one epic love story, prepare for the worst. That's what Lillian Lowe tried to do when Jonathan Hale schedules an important meeting. The problem, after being swept into the public eye and battling their addictions, they're not sure what the worst is anymore. In a sea of many changes, including Reich and Daisy living with them, Lily realizes that the best part of her fluctuating hormones might just be the worst. Her drive is out of control. Lauren knows that she's insatiable, but he's not giving up on her. She's too much a part of him, and as he carries more and more responsibility, some of the people that he loves doubt his resolve. In the conclusion to their love story, Lily and Lo stand side by side to fight one last time for their happily ever after. I wish the best for them. It just hurts me to see them, like, not doing good, but it's so hard. I just want the best for them, and I know that they end up happily. Like, it's a given, right? They have to end up happy. I'm hoping for the best. This is a book that my boyfriend picked out for me at Barnes & Noble. It's The Stranded by Sarah Daniels. The ship is their world. To survive, they must end it. So, welcome to the Arcadia. Once a luxurious cruise ship is now home to the stranded. For 40 years, they have lived and died on the water. No one is allowed to disembark, ever. Esther is 16 and a loyal citizen, working hard for the rare chance to live a life on land as a medic. But her plans are derailed when she saves the injured Nick, a rebel intent on a dangerous strategy to liberate the Arcadia. Both are willing to risk everything to reach dry land, but as they become more involved in the rebel cause, they find themselves at the crux of a revolution where their choices will decide the fate of everyone on board. Again, my boyfriend chose this book. He always goes for covers that look crazy and insane. Like, this is his cover, and, like, these are the covers that I like. Do you see the difference here? So I think that I'll like it. I like to read something that's a little bit different, and I feel like reading these 3 books from the Addicted Calloway Sister series, I'm afraid it's going to put me in a slump and I'm not going to be loving it. So I wanted to read something a little bit different as a palate cleanser in between. There's no particular order in which I'm reading these books besides the series, but you know what I mean. So this one, I'm really hoping that this one's good. I think I'm going to like it. I'm also going to read, or try to read, Travis by Mia Sheridan. This is a part of Archer's Voice, which I loved that book. It was so incredible. Sometimes you have to lose it all to find exactly what you need. Perhaps Travis Hale's past is riddled with regrets, but his future looks limitless. He's the police chief in the place that I cannot pronounce, Maine. Women are regularly falling at his feet, and his family has mostly forgiven his mistakes. When the new guy in town crosses him, things start to look shaky, especially when he meets a stranger's smoothie-making, bird-seed-eating sister. Haven Torres, I love that name, Haven, that's so cute. Torres' life fell apart, or rather burned to the ground. At the time, it seemed like a solid idea to jump in her car, her brother, a mostly willing co-pilot, and embark on a cross-country adventure for the summer, especially if she can catch the attention of Pellion's most eligible bachelor, Gage Buchanan, before she goes. And after the local police chief tells her of her brother's scandalous misdeed, she knows without a doubt that Pellion is just another town where their stay is best short-lived. Still, she and Travis form an unlikely friendship, and at first, it seems simple enough. She'll help him make her brother sweat a little, and he'll help her win over Gage. But then Haven starts to see the man beneath the brooding, and Travis starts to see the woman beneath the mess. However, Haven refuses to be tied to Pellion, and Travis has vowed to never be second best ever again. Before they know it, Simple has started to look pretty complicated. I really think I'm going to like this one. Again, I'm probably going to read this one in the middle of one of my Addicted Calloway Sister series because it's a short little one. I feel like it's going to be really good. Probably a very fast-paced read, So I'm excited for that one too. And lastly, this month I hope to read The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is the second book with Once Upon a Broken Heart. This one is about: not every love is meant to be. After Jax, the Prince of Hearts, betrays her, Evangeline Fox swears she'll never trust him again. Now that she's discovered her own magic, Evangeline believes she can use it to restore the chance at happily ever after that Jax stole away. But when a terrifying new curse is revealed, Evangeline finds herself entering into a tenuous partnership with the Prince of Hearts again. Only this time, the rules have changed. Jax isn't the only force Evangeline needs to be wary of. In fact, he might be the only one she can trust, despite her desire to despise him. Instead of a love spell wreaking havoc on Evangeline's life, a murderous spell has been cast. To break it, Evangeline and Jax will have to do battle with old friends, new foes, and a magic that plays with heads and hearts. Evangeline has always trusted her heart, but this time, she's not so sure that she can. I'm so excited for this one. I loved the first one. And the third one, I think it comes out in October, so I'm really excited for them, but I really love all this. I'm really so excited to be reading all these books. I feel like my TBR this month, especially some of the things that I'm doing for YouTube, I feel like I'm gonna fly through these books. I love the series. Reading is just so incredible. I wish more people did it. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble about all the books that I read in April and all the books that I plan or hope to read in May. So I will see you next time.